Cheers, Jim. Well, it's good to see Hibs back in the big time, but one thing's for sure, they won't get much of a welcome at the new-look Dens Park as Dundee seek to defy the odds again. There were more outs than ins here in the summer, with key men Darius Adamchuk and Ian Anderson among 6 departures. Last season's top scorer Eddie Annan is available after missing last week's Dundee derby through suspension. James Brady makes way. Lee Sharp also drops out to accommodate Dutch debutant Frank van Eijs. Willie Miller spent 11 years at Hibs. Birthday boy Stephen Tweed also faces his former club.
Well, these of course are early days in the Premier League, the new season here, Ian, but Dundee will be anxious to get some points on the board tonight, and it will be interesting to see how they cope with the departures of Darius Adamchuk, Ian Anderson and Brian Irvine. Stephen Tweed, a straight replacement for Irvine at the back. He's been over the coast many a time before, similar player to Brian Irvine, and he'll fit in nicely there beside Barry Smith. The departure of Ian Anderson means that Stephen Boyack has had to push forward and play wide right. Normally we see him play kind of right midfield role, but he does assure me tonight that he has played there before and quite happy to do so again. And certainly Jockey will be delighted to see Eddie Annan back, their top scorer last season with 10 goals. He'll be their best bet for a goal this evening, I would suggest.
Well, Hibernian make 2 changes from the side that drew with Motherwell. Mixu Patalainen and Pat McGinley come in for Steve Crawford and Stuart Lovell. Alex McLeish appears to have made some shrewd summer signings in Dirk Lehmann, Matthias Jack and Fabrice Henry, while West Indian sensation Russell Latterby should play a prominent part this season.
Yes, I do agree with you, and he hasn't had much to spend, but what he has had he's used very wisely. Great to see Frank Sosie in Scottish football, a Champions Cup winner of great pedigree, won that medal of course with Marseille. And further forward there, Russell Latterby will play in the hole behind Lehmann and Patalainen, and again Latterby, a player, a real thoroughbred, having played in the Champions League with Porto. Further left, Pat McGinley comes back, missed out last week because of injury, and if Hibs do get down the right-hand side and get some service into the box, look at McGinley getting himself into the back post to support his front pair.
Dens Park transformed this season with 2 new stands erected in the space of 78 days. That brought the stadium in line with SPL regulations, and it's christened today by Dundee and Hibernian. These 2 teams meeting for the first time in 5 years. They are the newest recruits to the Scottish Premier League. Dundee promoted last year, Hibernian promoted this year. Watch out for this man, Trinidad and Tobago international Russell Latterby is likely to be an inspiration to Hibs. He's a close friend of Dwight York and they can both play a bit. Latterby is about to sign a new 2-year deal. Well, Robert Douglas has already committed his future to Dundee. His fine form last season earned a call up to the Scotland squad. He really is some prospect, and at 26 the best may be to come. Today though, can he keep out Dirk Lehmann, who had a dream debut in Scottish football? The former Fulham striker bagged a brace against Motherwell, and he's a good bet for a decent goal tally this season. He wears tape to cover up his earrings, as we often do ourselves in the commentary box. The man in charge is Scotland's top ref and one of the best in the world, Hugh Dallas. It's his first game of the season. He will take charge of a Champions League qualifier on Wednesday. Doesn't know which one yet. We'll find out later this evening. It's Dundee to start. They surprised many by finishing 5th last season. It'll be a monstrous challenge to equal that, let alone improve on it. But they will give it their best shot, because they always do. Hibernian are aiming their sights very high. They're not particularly interested in a season of consolidation. They want to make a much bigger impact than that on their return to the top flight. It's a fixture that has favoured Dundee in recent times. They've won 10 of the last 14 encounters here at Dens Park. They made a losing start last week though to the 1999-2000 campaign, and it hurt because it came across the road at Tannadice in the Dundee derby. Hibernian drew with Motherwell 2-2, a game they really should have won quite comfortably. They did look like they could be quite an entertaining side. in the Scottish Premier League this season. The police said after that Motherwell game he doesn't particularly want to be entertaining and down near the bottom of the table. Skimming, trying to send it through to Stephen Boyack, and some defending for Hibernian from Dennis. Fabrice Henry will get the free kick.
I'll tell you what, Sean Dennis took some chance here, Ian. Looks very, very casual here, closed down by young Boyack, takes it round his own goalkeeper. Certainly took a chance there.
I think he was the calmest person inside Ben's Park at that moment. He's following Hibs. Lehman. Free kick in a really promising position. Lehman signed from Fulham.
Yeah, made a huge impact already in the Scottish Premier League. He's the meat and the sandwich here, and it gives Hibs a chance to put Robert Douglas under early pressure. Difficult one for a goalkeeper because the free kick is in the central area. He can't really let the wall take care of one side and look after the other himself.
Well, it'll be Frank Sosie, no doubt, to have a go here. Free kick specialist for Hibernian. Russell Latterby also there, but this is a moment that calls for Sosie, straight against the wall. He whacked in a good few free kicks against Motherwell last week, the Frenchman. And here he is. Stray one that time though, straight to Willie Miller, getting boos from the Hibernian fans. He was a regular at Easter Road for the best part of 11 seasons, so it's a strange experience for him, playing against them. Matthias Jack. Little shove on Fabrice Henry. The flag goes up for offside.
Yeah, Sosie trying to take the free kick earlier. They're just trying to catch the knee flat at the back. And he's 33 now, Ian, Frank Sosie, but still has tremendous ability, and I'm sure that the youngsters in particular at Easter Road are getting a real education from this man. Directs the operations from deep in midfield.
Eddie Annand and Willie Falconer putting themselves about up front for Dundee. Paul Lovering, the left back for Hibs, former Clydebank man. And that will be collected comfortably by Ollie Gottskálksson. McGinley looking for Lehman, who has company in the shape of another former Hibs man, Stephen Tweed. Falconer. No way past Rennick. Frank Sosie. Matthias Jack, who looked particularly impressive on his debut against Motherwell. One slight mistake early on, but apart from that, very assured. Patalainen. Oh, here's Dirk Lehman. It didn't drop too kindly for him. And on the back from Madison.
Yeah, Lehman's movement was first class. He just peels away from Barry Smith. He went back post, then checked back across to the front. Lost Barry Smith. Just couldn't make a decent connection with it, but good movement once again from Dirk Lehman.
Sprang to prominence at Fulham last season. Picked up on a free transfer. Last time these two teams met was 5 years ago. Dundee won 4-0 here, and they've certainly settled for something similar today. Lehman, though, desperately trying to pounce, and Barry Smith had a bit to do. This is Lee Madison. He played in England for Bristol Rovers and Northampton. Sosie. Henry. Russell Latterby. It's aimed towards Patalainen, who was climbing over Tweed.
Yeah, he was certainly climbing there all over Stephen Tweed. Deep ball played in by Latipi there. And look at the hands up here. I can have no complaints with that decision.
To Katalainen, a familiar face in British football.
Well, we'll try to play to him a lot tonight. I think you'll see it played from back to front. So he's certainly capable of winning more than his fair share of knockdowns.
Offside flag, frustrating Falconer. That time for Dundee. He had a pretty good pre-season, winning 4 of their 5 friendlies. All against lower league sides in Scotland. Hibs also did well pre-season. Difficult to tell sometimes whether that counts for much, but they had a very successful tour of Denmark and then beat a full-strength Middlesbrough side. Rennick. Patalainen. Sozi. Away it goes to Fabrice Henry. Sozi is going to hit this one. Not one of his better efforts, though.
Yeah, didn't catch it right, but I think Jockey Scott will feel he had far too much time and space to measure this shot. Square ball here. And it wasn't really closed down quickly enough.
Alex McLeish arrived at Hibernian too late to save them from relegation the season before last, but his side steamrolled through the First Division, winning a record-busting 89 points. Sean McSkinning. Stephen Tweed. He spent 5 years with Hibs and is a big fan of theirs, actually, although not for these 90 minutes, I dare say. Latipi. Salzi finding his fellow countryman, Fabrice Henry. Dirk Lehmann. Lovering's attempts to cross the ball were blocked by Boyack, but it's a corner.
Yeah, they're moving the ball a bit ever so well at the moment, Alex McLeish's side. And as we expected, Sozi and Latipi involved in everything. Little ball played there through to Lehmann, Lovering in support. And Hibs get a corner. But they have made a good start to this match.
Latipi gets it back from Henry. And they picked out Sozi again. Thought he was going to have a blast on the volley. Still got a shot in.
Well, he's not shy, is he, at having a go? And once again, he had plenty of space in front of him to measure the effort. I think he tries to hit this with a bit of top spin, but Robert Douglas perfectly positioned to make the catch.
He had a few long-range pops at Andy Gorham last week, not to the delight of the Hibs fans. McGinley. Tweed takes command and gives Falconer something to chase, but Matthias Jack is going to get there first. He looks a very calm and composed player on the ball. Dennis taking the direct route, but it's straight through to Robert Douglas.
Yeah, I think you can see even this early in this match, Ian, just why Easter Road was bulging at the seams for most of last season. They didn't just win the First Division, they won it in style, and you can see why tonight. Loads of flair in this side.
They're going to be an exciting team to watch, that's for sure, throughout the campaign. Sozi. Rennick. McGinley. Latipi. Leaves it for Henry. They like to spray the passes around as well. Rennick. Trying to find Lehmann. Ooh, and it was cut out by Smith. Sozi can try again. It was a bit too far out even for him to have a dig that time. Dundee starting to play a bit with Stephen Boyack, former Rangers youngster. squeezed out by all the big names at Ibrox. That'll be a free kick. That's by Ice, impeded.
Yeah, not much doubt about that as Van Ice come inside here. Just tumbled by Paul Lovering.
Boyak's quick free kick for Eddie Adams. And some good defending by Rennick, who came across from right back.
Yeah, it's a super run though by Eddie Anand, and typical of him. Sees things early, he's on his way here. And eventually he's closed down, but it's something a midfield player needs. He needs front players to show, and Anand's usually willing.
Now Dirk Lehmann's in trouble here because he collided with Smith, and Hugh Dallas has immediately summoned Lahim to him. Use of the elbow.
Well, he's new to the Scottish game, but this is one man you don't argue with, Hugh Dallas. Protesting his innocence, Hugh Dallas clearly indicating he felt the elbow was used, and the right elbow is up pretty high there. I don't think there was much malice in it, but his right elbow is airborne.
Smith certainly felt it, that's for sure. So it's a yellow card for the German. And they're just telling Harry Smith where he is. And what time of day it is.
A striker will tell you, Ian, that you can't jump without raising your arms, but it's a difficult one for the referee here. I don't think there's any malice in that, but the elbow was certainly high.
Skimming. Eddie Anand had come deep, but he was dispossessed, and now Latifi can lead a charge for Hibernian. Lehmann ahead of him, others joining in support. Good block from Smith, who's obviously quickly recovered from Lehmann's elbow.
This is a man who lit up the First Division last season. Plays in a similar role to that of Isle Berkovic at Celtic. Well challenged by Barry Smith there. But he's always looking to get on the ball, plays the free role, doesn't have to pick up when Hibs lose the ball. And without doubt, the most creative player of Alec McLeish's side.
Here's Rennick. McGinley, the longest serving player at Hibs, aim that towards Patalainen. Stephen Boyack. Offside flag has gone up.
Well, Jockey Scott can't believe that. He felt that Willie Faulkner was well on. Kenny Clark just pacifying him.
He was right in line with it, Jockey, as well. Clark, the fourth official. I think that chat might go on for a while.
I need Henry Kissinger for that one.
Here's Reddick. It's down the line for Stephen Boyack from Madison, and in the middle is Eddie Anand, but it needed a better delivery.
Yeah, it's superb play though from Stephen Boyack. Drifted right across from the right to the left-hand side here. Great diagonal run to find the space, and it's a good early ball, perhaps just a bit overhit, but it's good play from Boyack. It's the first time really that Dundee have managed to make any progress in the wide areas, and it wasn't a bad delivery.
I'm sure Hull City fans might remember Stephen Boyack. He had a loan spell there a couple of seasons ago when he was at Rangers, and looks to be a tremendous talent. No room for him at the Rangers Inn, though. Smith barged over by Patalainen. Madison got himself out of trouble, but Cabin Ray finds Latifi in close attendance. Now McGinley. Latifi has got men spare. Lovering, wasting no time, getting the cross in for Dirk Lehmann, who just pulled away from his marker.
Yeah, it's a real chance and he knows it. And what a good ball it is from Paul Lovering. Played in deep there. He just gets a yard on Barry Smith and he can't direct it properly, but it was a golden chance for Dirk Lehmann there to put Hibs ahead. And he just peeled off Barry Smith. Couldn't quite get over it. And there you see the evidence there. Hibs have made a fine start to this match.
Well, they certainly got into the winning habit last season. Hibs, 28 victories in their 36 league games. They only lost 3 in the first division. They are back where they belong. But here's Gavin Ray. Now Boyack. Dundee showing that they can play a bit of football as well. Still Boyack. McSkimming. Frank van Eijs. The Dutchman's cross is cut out by the German. Matthias Jack. Now Lubbering. And blocked by Falconer. Frank van Eijs played for Mechelen in Belgium, but joined Dundee from a club in Holland. I have to confess, I've never heard of them. Vinkenlaag, from about Division 43, I think. Smith. Eddie Allen settles for the throw off Rennick. The throw will be taken by Lee Madison. Gavin Ray. Straight at Rennick. Latterby, who's close friends with Dwight York and Brian Lara. A select group of West Indian sportsmen. Lovering. McGinley. Lehmann and Tweed. Could be some tussle. And a mistake from Madison.
Yeah, I think he reckons it took a bobble just as he was about to play it.
Rennick's throw. From Dennis. Sozi. European Cup winner with Marseille earlier in the 90s. And Sozi. And it shows. Albeit perhaps not with that pass. Dennis. Falconer getting stuck in, but he trips Matthias Jack.
Yeah, he was overstretching Willie Falconer. And Jack wins it cleanly, but caught late by Willie Faulkner. And certainly a free kick. Been a tough shift for Willie so far tonight. Dundee really haven't managed to get the ball forward to the front pair with any regularity.
Latterby. Promising this. Always a buzz of anticipation when he gets the ball. But the free kick has gone the way of Dundee.
Yeah, I think he was looking for help there. He ended up closed down in just about every direction. And nobody really coming to help him. Stephen Tweed ushering him across the face of the 18-yard box there, and eventually just ran out of ideas.
Bit of a cul-de-sac that time for Latterby. No goals in the opening 20 minutes, but Hibernian looking the more likely. Here's Rennick. Lehmann. McGinley. Matthias Jack. Latterby actually survived the challenge from Ray. He was going to get a ticking off.
Yeah, it was a late one there on Latterby. And I think he's very fortunate that Hugh Dallas hasn't produced a yellow card for that.
He will be in charge of the World Cup winners soon. He'll officiate the European Championship qualifier between France and the Ukraine. Sozi. Rennick. He's just overrun that, has he? Indeed he has.
Yeah, he was just squeezed out. Good young player, Michael Rennick. He's been at Hibs since he was 15, 16 years of age, always trying to get forward on that right-hand side. But Lee Madison does well there, just to squeeze him out at the corner flag.
Dundee made a dismal start to last season, but recovered magnificently to finish fifth, and that really was some achievement by them when you consider the quality of the teams that came above them and some of the bigger names that came below them. McGinley up towards Patalainen. No one to latch onto the knockdown. Lehman was a distance away.
Yeah, it was a good knockdown as well, Ian, and that's when you're expecting your striking partner to be there to walk onto it.
Harry Smith, straight down the throat of Dennis. Latapy and McGinley exchanging passes. And he brings Rennick into the equation. Latapy for Lehman. Eddie Anand. Smith. Willie Miller. Former Hibs man, hence a few boos whenever he gets the ball, and likewise Twee. Patalainen chasing this, but it should be okay for Madison. Patalainen closing in on keeper Robert Douglas. McSkimming. Skimmed off his head. Certainly not his hair, that's for sure. Offside flag's gone up.
Yeah, a very late flag as well. Eddie Anand in a wide position looking across the line, felt he was on. And it's a player in the left back position that I think Anand felt played him on very, very tightly.
McGinley. In steps Stephen Boyer. Willie Miller. Van Ice. And Miller has to slam it back in the direction of Robert Douglas. Falconer rising with Jack. Rennick. Latapy. Sozi. And Ice. Skimming. Could be something on here for Dundee. And then again, Kramchnov as McGinley stepped in. Latapy. Here's Rennick. Hibs are making most of the running at the moment. Fabrice Henry finds Rennick. It's time to get a cross in. Not a very good one though. Breaks for Sozi, whose first touch was very nearly his last. Well, Boyan kept it in play, but to little avail really. Henry. Latapy. Kevin Ray ensures that Hibs move broke down.
Yeah, Hibs just keep picking away at this Dundee back four, finding chances hard to make, but I think Alec will be well pleased that they have Dundee on the back foot.
Patalainen, Lovering is in space, and that's where it's going. Fabrice Henry, who arrived at Hibs from Bâle in Switzerland. Rennick. Patalainen. Hibs taking the patient approach here. It's Latapi. That was a poor one. And the man who has over 100 caps for Trinidad and Tobago. Here's Stephen Boyack. Nobody really to his right side. There is now, though. And it's Frank van Eijs. Pat McGinley. And he finds Dirk Lehmann. Just got lost in amongst his feet, but here's Henry. And they can try again, Hibernian. Eddie Anand. Oh, that's a nice one. Over the top for Boyack. Only Falconer is in the middle at the moment. Doesn't really matter anyway, because Boyack couldn't get his cross in. Latapi. Rennick. Patalainen. Henry nearby in support, so too is Rennick. It's not quite happening for Hibs, even though they have had the lion's share of it so far.
Yeah, final ball's been poor. They've passed the ball well, moved it through midfield, but the final ball really has let them down. And they've worked out some good space in the wide areas in particular, but again, the delivery into the box for the front pair has been lacking.
Dirk Lehmann gets hold of this one. Salzi. Henry. Rennick. Cannons off Lee Madison for a corner.
Yeah, good support there by Michael Rennick, and he just tried to play it in between the keeper and the last defender there. And Madison managed to make the block, but once again Rennick was willing to get himself forward.
Latapi with his second corner of the game, on the other side this time. Matthias Jack, always a threat in those sort of situations.
Yeah, Eddie Anand, though, back defending, did well here. Made sure that he wasn't going to get a free header at it, and did just enough to put him off.
Alex McLeish with a few notes to write down already about this first half, which has yet to bring us a goal. Fabrice Henry. Jack. That's a commanding figure. Patalainen. Now McGinley. And now Rennick. Salzi on to Russell Latapi. And it's collected by Robert Douglas. Neat work though from Hibs.
Yeah, super one-touch play. Just tried to pick out Lehmann here, who'd made the front post run. Good ball by Sozi to put Latapi away and tried to find Lehmann, but Rob Douglas did well, made the catch. But Dundee, Hibs I should say, have passed the ball ever so well. I'm sure Alec McLeish will be well pleased, if not with the final ball at times, but by the possession they've had and the way they've moved the ball through midfield.
Stephen Tweed celebrating his 27th birthday today. Finds McSkinning. Rennick wins the chase ahead of Eddie Anand and deals with the situation pretty well, although McGinley then makes a bit of a mess of it. A free kick now will go in favour of Rennick and against Annan, top scorer last season, only with 9 though.
Yeah, I think Hibs will be relieved to get the free kick. They're just a bit casual down here in the corner and ended up giving possession away to Eddie Annan. He's pushing a bit on Michael Rennick, but not a great deal in it.
Eddie Annan missed the season opener at Dundee United last week. He was suspended. Willie Villa up towards Falconer. Jack goes over there with him though, and it's a Hibernian throw. Matthias Jack, one of the free transfer signings Alex Glaciers made. And it's a Dundee throw now. One for them by Gavin Ray, of whom many great things are expected. Youngster. Latapi's going to latch onto this, and he could be away. Lehman with a perfect pass is through here, and it's 1-0 to Hibernian. And Dirk Lehman continues his spectacular start to the season.
Well, it's been coming, hasn't it? Delightful pass here by Latapi. Look at the first touch with the left foot from Lehman to put it in front of himself. And he finds the inside of the post. That's a fine finish. But a great counter-attacking move all in from Hibs. Latapi through. The first touch is real quality from Lehman. Running away from goal, but still fires at the cross Rab Douglas. And he just catches the inside of the post. The keeper left without a hope. And no more than Hibs deserve at this stage, I would have thought. And Alec McLeish is entitled to celebrate not just the goal, but the way his side have played so far.
Lehman's third goal in Scottish football, and I have to say he's taken all 3 of them exceptionally well. A header, a right foot strike against Motherwell, and that one touched into the corner, in off the post. 3 goals so far for the German striker. Many, many more to come, I think. Now Lovering's going to get to this. Ooh, and it was cut out by Stephen Tweed, just as well for Dundee, because Patalainen was lurking. And really, just reward for Hibs, I guess.
Yeah, very much so. And it is frustrating when you play as well as Hibs have and don't get anything. Don't get your reward for it. And Alec McLeish must have wondered when it was going to come, if at all.
That came at the keeper at a fair pace. Hence the rather scuffed clearance from Guts Carlton, who was the only ever present last season, Icelandic international. He also represented his country at basketball as well. Plenty of football this week on Sky Sports in the Premiership. The first Monday night football of the season is Tottenham against Newcastle, the main attraction after all the weekend action. On Tuesday, we're at Pride Park for Derby against Arsenal, or if you prefer, West Ham take on Metz in the Intertoto Cup. Sky Sports 2, 7:30 for that one. Sorry we could only fit in 3 games in the next 2 days. Hibernian did have trouble hanging on to the lead against Motherwell last week. They really should have won that one. Smith charging through. Here's Ray. Out it goes to Frank van Eijs. Patalainen surely obstructed him, did he? No. Decides he does. Madison. Tackle from McGinley, and Latapi is the beneficiary, and look at him go here. He's shaken off Ray. Lehman is in the middle. Patalainen's far post. Sozi is there as well. And Douglas has just about grabbed hold of that one.
Yeah, they're in full flow now, Hibs. Once again, Latapi involved, picking out Sozi. And he hit it pretty well. Robert Douglas had to make sure he didn't spill it.
McSkimming. Falconer. Dennis committed himself, but the cross from Falconer not really troubling Dots Carlson.
No, it was a good position as well to deliver from Willie Falconer. And he makes a good run here. Sean Dennis dives in, and he has time there. Stephen Boyack was deep at the back post, but the cross wasn't the best from Willie Falconer.
Rennick. Hibs looking for another. Raymond was in there. Tweed not far from him. Willie Miller. Frank van Ice. There's a man on. There's a man on Miller now. He'll have to go back to Douglas. Flipped on by Falconer. Eddie Allen can hit them. Oh, what an excellent effort. And it perhaps deserved a better outcome from Eddie Allen.
Yeah, great exchange here by the front two. And he certainly got hold of that. But Skelton left completely helpless here. And that was a fabulous piece of front play there by Falconer and Eddie Annan. Well, Hibs still well ahead, but Dundee get their first attempt on goal on the board. And they couldn't have come much closer.
Dirk Lehmann's goal separating the sides. I wonder if Frank Sosie will have a go from here. I don't wonder too much, because he normally does. It's time for another blast from Sosie. He's going to score a screamer one of these days. Here he is again. Finding Fabrice Henry. It's come to Sosie. Well, target in the end, but it doesn't hang about, does it?
No, it does not. It does not. He's always looking to get a shot on target. And his first touch is good enough that buys him a bit of time in these situations. He doesn't get a hold of that one, but he's always looking to have a pop.
Big hero with the Hibs fans. Fabrice Henry finds Latterby. Henry again. Rennick on the overlap. Salzi. Henry. One back fairly. Stephen Boyack. Not much joy for Dundee at the moment, apart from that fierce strike from Eddie Anand. Latterby. Here's Rennick. Latterby. And Stephen Boyack on him. So Latterby, he's been around a bit in European football. Played in Portugal for Porto and Boa Vista. The side flag goes up against Mixu Patalainen.
Yeah, well, this is the moment that mattered in the game so far. And it was a great break by Hibs. The first touch buys him the time here, but it's going to take a good finish to score from that angle, and he does exactly that, finding the inside of the post. A good run in behind Barry Smith. Still a lot of work to do here, and he couldn't have hit it much sweeter. Here's
Rennick. Henry Latterby sizing one up. Good stop from Douglas as it came at him at a fair pace.
Yeah, he stuck it well enough. He was moving away from Rob Douglas in goal there. And Lehman was following it in. Once again, Douglas couldn't afford to spill it.
Miller, and much of the delight of the Hibs fans, the former Hibs man, made a bit of a rickets of that. Skimming, not the best of kick-outs from Scarlson. Boyack. That seemed to be neither a shot or a pass.
Yeah, he was asking a bit much of Willie Faulkner there, but I think Dundee will try and get Boyack on the ball as often as possible. He is the one player that is liable to create something for them.
Miller up to Anand. He used his hands. Dennis up to Patalainen. McGinley. Paul Lovering. Given away by Fabrice Henry. Hibs have got it back though. Frank Sosie, Vines, Russell, Latterby. Henry. Latterby. Sosie. Rennick. Into the thick of it goes, and Stephen Tweed has to knock it behind.
Yeah, I thought he might have taken it first time, Michael Rennick. Decided to take the touch though when he's picked out here by Frank Sosie. Could have played it in here, decides to take a touch, and it's a good delivery. And Stephen Tweed has no choice but to play that behind.
Hey, come on! Hey, fucking...
So another corner for Russell Latterby to swing in. And Frank Sosie. That one was best forgotten, I think. Here he is, though. Tripped by Eddie Anand.
Yeah, it's a clumsy challenge here from Eddie Anand. Sosie shielding the ball well. There's not much doubt about that, and Hugh Dallas wants a word with him.
Ticking off for Eddie Anand. And more problems for Dundee as they have to defend this free kick from Sosie. In the end, it wasn't too much trouble. Latterby. Sosie. Away by Smith, but only back to Latterby. Inside the last minute of the first half. Just about found its way to Lothering, having eluded Boyack. Fabrice Henry came all the way through to Patalainen. It was much ado about nothing in the end. Gavin Ray breaking away for Dundee. Willie Faulkner scored a great goal in the Dundee derby last week. Gavin Ray. Tweed. Miller. Van Ice. Boyack. Lovering's throw. Away by Tweed. Met by Matthias Jack. Tweed. Away by Lovering. Going backwards and forwards. And Matthias Jack turns into a left winger. and is crudely taken out by Frank van Eist, who's going to get a card.
Yeah, Hugh Dallas reaching for the card immediately that challenge was made there. I don't know what he's complaining about. Matthias Jack well on his way down the left side when he was taken out. Just about to break into a good position.
Yellow card for the Dutchman on his debut. And a free kick for Hibs in first half injury time. Henry immediately finding Latterby, but there's no time to do anything with it. Dirk Lehmann's goal has given Hibs a half-time lead at the new look Dens Park. Lovely pass from Latterby and a fine finish from the German striker, who continues his early season scoring spree. He's having a great time already in Scotland after his move from Fulham. It's a deserved half-time lead for the visitors. Dundee 0, Hibs 1.
Live US golf coming up for you next week on Sky Sports 2. It's the last major championship of the millennium, starting on Thursday from 5:30. The world's top golfers do battle for the US PGA Championship. Vijay Singh is defending his title against the likes of Tiger Woods, David Duval, and of course the 1999 British Open champion, Paul Lawrie. That's 4 days of live and exclusive action starting Thursday only on Sky Sports. At Dens Park tonight, it's half-time, and it's Hibs who are very much in the driving seat. It's 1-0, Dirk Lehmann, the scorer in the first half, but Hibs battering Dundee in terms of attempts at goal. 1 goal, 2 bookings, Van Eist of Dundee, the goal scorer, Dirk Lehmann of Hibs. But the first half has belonged to Hibs, who've had much more of the attacking play. So Hibs in the driving seat. And Charlie, as we said, we're really pleased they're a welcome addition to the top flight in Scotland, and they're proving that on that first half display alone.
Yeah, well, they are. They're more than doing that. They're actually holding their own and looking exciting. They're playing this passing game that we knew Alec McLeish wanted to play. But what they've done is that they've got a lovely, little triangle, especially in the midfield area. They do interchange a bit like the old Firm is. It's a similar type of style, but not with probably the top draw player. But some of these players, Latterby in particular, Henry and Suze, they've stamped their authority on the style of this Hibs team. Now, Alec McLeish must take a lot of the credit for the style that he's developing, but those three in particular are shaping it. People at Lehmann are going to benefit because they're going to get service, but those three in central midfield, the three of them are all having a wonderful game, and they're all very creative. There's the area, the angle ball they can hit into Lehmann. He takes up good position, his movement is very good, he moves tall centre halves, and that's what's impressive about him, and it's no surprise that Lehmann is starting to find goals as quickly as what he is.
And he, as far as you're concerned, he's a standout, is he? Yeah. His goal, the difference between the two sides.
Well, strikers always deserve it. You can put the ball in the back of the net. It's a lovely counter-attack.
Yeah.
Fluent movement. Davey was right to point out that the final ball was letting him down. But I always felt it was a fine line that something was going to give. Latterby again involved in it. It's a lovely take with his left, the outside of his ankle. And you can't finish better than that. It's an awkward angle. Douglas is not easy to beat. He stays tall, as you see, and to get in off the post is a clean strike, and I thought nothing more than what Hibs deserved. They really were in top in this game.
As Ian Crocker said, Charlie, Latterby has plenty of experience in Europe.
Yeah.
He's played for Porto and Boavista, as he said. So, of course, is Frank Soze, and they've been evident throughout that first 45 minutes, haven't they?
Style. What they've done is that they've put their own style, their authority in the game. Nothing against them, David. They can't seem to get close to them. There's not a system that you can organise. You can't say him, go and pick up Soze, because then Latterby starts to get his involvement in the game, and there's the set up between the pair of them, Latterby to Soze. He's not quite catching anything cleanly yet, but you just think it's a matter of time. Dundee have got a bit of more restructuring to do to try and combat this midfield area, because Hibs are dominating at a big style.
As a former striker yourself, I know Eddie Anand appeals to you,
yeah.
And it's really been their only chance, hasn't it? But it was a good effort.
Oh, well, he probably deserved better. It's a one attempt yard and goal. I do think this hits the target. It doesn't count because it hit the post. He's taking it early and taking the goalkeeper by surprise, but Eddie's been their only threat. I like Stephen Boyack, he's moving, he's good in the ball, but they've got to be more creative. They've got to dominate a little bit more in the midfield area.
If you're Jockey Scott,
Yeah.
you're saying to your players in that dressing room right now at Dens Park, well, we've kept them to 1. So we're still in with a shout.
No, that's the case. Jim, what we've had, we're into our second game of the season. Last season, what we were getting was mainly about 52, 53 minutes of ball in play. So you were getting like 25, 26 minutes. Tonight already, we have over 32 minutes. Last week at Pataudry, we had over 33 minutes. So we're getting more passing movement, we're getting more entertainment. OK, we've only got 1 goal so far, but we're getting attacking policies. As long as that continues, they will get compliments in every direction that I can give them.
What do you think then? Second half?
I think
more of
it's
the same, or do you yeah?
Well, I think Dundee will change it. I think they have to change it. They need to get the full-backs to get wider and make a contribution going forward. Otherwise, Hibs could score again and win this comfortably.
Well, of course, Charlie, as we know, Hibs supporters so pleased that the Easter Road Club is back in the top flights, and they're at Dens Park in numbers tonight. And right now, their side is in the process of winning this one. It's 1-0 Hibs. The second half coming up after this. There are 4 live games over the next 3 days coming up here on Sky Sports. Tomorrow night, the first Monday night football of the season, features Spurs against Newcastle. On Tuesday, there's a choice of games. Derby against Arsenal from the Premiership on Sky Sports 1, and West Ham against Metz in the first leg of the Intertoto Cup final on Sky Sports 2. And on Wednesday, our Worthington Cup coverage gets underway with the first round, first leg tie between Brentford and Ipswich. But right now, it's all about our live Scottish game. It's Dundee against Hibs from Dens Park tonight. And Charlie, James Grady coming on for Dundee. They're trailing 1-0, of course. He's coming on for the Dutchman Van Eyck, who was booked. Will he make a difference?
I think he will. I think Van Eyck struggled to make any impression in the game. Very quiet and game. James Grady's very neat and tidy, also very sharp in front of goal, so they need to get the service to the strikers.
He's got a job to do, so did Dundee. Let's rejoin David Provan and Ian Crocker.
Thank you, Jim. Dundee are out, ready and waiting. Hibs are keeping them waiting. Dundee obviously need to give it a bit more of a go in the second half, hence the arrival of Grady. But Hibs, after a season out of the top flight, are looking like they could do something in the Scottish Premier League this season. This man certainly does. Dirk Lehmann with 3 goals so far, 2 against Motherwell last week, 1 here tonight, and all 3 tremendously taken. He was a bit of a cult figure at Fulham as well. Alex McLeish bringing him north to Hibernian and hoping for great things from his side this season. Hibernian ready to start the second half. They have a dismal record here at Dens Park in their recent history, but that might be about to change unless Dundee can offer something in the second half, and they'll be hoping that James Grady will be a key figure for them. He was top scorer when they won promotion a couple of years ago, got a few last season, including a real cracker, I remember, in the Dundee derby. Hugh Dallas signals the start of the second half. Hibs will be hoping that for them it goes much the same way as the first half did.
Yeah, there's no doubt Dundee have to find a bit extra. I think the change certainly makes sense. Jockey putting James Grady on, who appears to be going to play wide right in the second half, and that just means Stephen Boyack will take a step back and play in a role he's more familiar with, that of right midfield. But Dundee really have to try and dominate a bit more, as Charlie suggested, particularly in midfield, where up until now they've been completely overrun.
Stephen Tweed, not much to celebrate on his birthday so far. Latterby away by Smith, but here's Lovering. Anderson will let that run for a Dundee throw. Away by Matthias Jack. Frank Sosie. Rennick. Straight through the middle. No problem for Robert Douglas. Dundee have only lost one of their last 14 home games against Hibs, which is pretty good going. But they're going to have to come up with some ideas to keep that record going. Latapi. Sosie. McGinley. It's not a very bright night in Dundee, but it's certainly a bit breezy. And there's a nip in the air. Well, it is the second week of August in Scotland. Sosie. Showing off a bit now. Gets it back from Henry. I think we're going to see a fair bit of football like that from Hibs this season. Lovering's cross is cleared by Smith. Dundee have a chance to break here with Ray. And he's picked out Eddie Anand. Oh no, he hasn't quite, because Rennick is there.
Yeah, I think the ball just held up in the wind a bit there. Otherwise Eddie Anand might have been on his way. It's been another impressive start by Hibs, although Dundee coming forward at the moment.
Fabrice Henry. It's going to run through to Latapi. Henry. Putting Latapi back in. Tweed with him. Latapi shakes him off. Stephen Boyer. Ray. Smith moving out of the defence. Here's Madison. Aimed towards Falconer. Tell you what, the goalkeeper committed himself then, but the flag was up and it won't count.
Oh yeah, he's relieved. Ole Gustavsson decided to come early for it and was never getting there. Willie Faulkner raises his arm, he's the target here, and he's penalised for climbing above Matthias Jack. And I didn't see a great deal in that, to be honest with you. And Ole Gustavsson really gets off the hook there. It's a good deep ball played in. Falconer is up. And I think if you're a striker, you'd be very unhappy at being penalised for that.
Boyack. Lovering's clearance. Banks over the head of Lehman. Sosie. Neatly finding Lehman. McGinley back to Lehman. Taken off his toes by McSkinning. Grady. Sold a touch short. Ray. Bobbled away from him, much to Dundee's dismay. Kevin Ray, whose form last season earned him a call-up into the Scotland under-21 squad. Boyack. Eddie Anand. Ray is waiting. It's deflected away for a corner kick, raising hopes for Dundee.
Yeah, just too many bodies in front of Gavin Ray there as he tried to get the shot on target. There was plenty of players goal side here. But Dundee do have a corner, and it's the signal for Stephen Tweed to go up to that back post area.
Boyack's corner. It's actually come to Grady, who whacked it over.
Well, it was on his own, and the first touch was good enough to bring the ball down. And completely unmarked here. Eventually it's Frank Sosie who comes across to close him down. And he'll feel he should have done better there. Good deep corner there, and the first touch was good. Sosie did enough to put him off.
On by Lehman. Patalainen hoping to do similar, but rather crowded out. Sozi. Reddick escapes the challenge of Anand. Can he deliver? Well, it's come to Fabrice Henry in a roundabout kind of way. Sozi. How about that for a pass to Lovering, who goes down, and nothing is given.
Well, I'd like to see that one again. Paul Lovering certainly feels he should have had a penalty there. A clumsy challenge from James Grady. Hugh Dallas, I have to say, was perfectly positioned as Frank Sozi goes down here on the near side. Here's the penalty claim. Grady caught with the ball inside him. Lovering was on his way. And I have to say, I think that's a penalty kick. He wins the ball first. He's taken late by James Grady. And it's just inside the box. And I think Paul Lovering entitled to be aggrieved there.
Brady got away with that one. Sozi, meantime, is hurt. And needs a little bit of treatment.
And this is a late challenge on Frank Sozi. This is why he's being attended to at the moment. Clumsy challenge by James Grady, but he looks as if he's okay. And Alec McLeish will certainly want him back on his feet. He's so central to everything that Hibs have done tonight. Just shielding the ball there and taken very, very late by James Grady.
Alex McLeish's side were convinced they should have had a penalty then. Hugh Dallas, of course, got the decision right in the Scottish Cup final last season. I wonder what he'll make of that when he sees it again on video and gets home tonight.
Well, he doesn't make too many mistakes, Mr. Dallas. But I do feel on that occasion that he got it wrong.
Grady. Ray. And he made a right mess of his cross.
Yeah, the final ball once again, and it really has let Dundee down badly tonight. And he takes up good position. And it's a pity he wasted it. Two players at the back post, and both of them left frustrated, as they have been for most of the night, given the service that they've had to contend with. Now here we go again. James Grady was caught with the ball inside. Lovering clearly wins the ball first here, and he is taken out the play. It's just inside the box. And it's as clear-cut a penalty as you're likely to see, I would have thought.
That's a piece cross looking for Lehman. I'll let you tell Hugh afterwards. Quite an eventful season last season, Hugh Dallas. This is his first one of the campaign. Here's Rennick. Sozi, had to be lurking, but it bounces through to Big Robert Douglas. His throw finds the promising Boyack. Boyack finding McSkinning. Dundee are playing Hibs at their own game here with a fluent move. Eddie Anand. He's got Lovering with him though, and that's quite something to contend with. And Lovering's got the better of that duel. McSkinning. Is he going to go for goal here, Sean McSkinning? It went straight at Matthias Jack. Reddick. Cut out by Smith. Rather hopeful handball claim from the Hibs fans. Hibs still with only a one-goal lead. Despite their dominance, they should have had a penalty. And after last week against Motherwell, whom they twice let come back at Easter Road, I think they prefer to have a cushion this time around.
Yeah, 1-0's never enough, Ian, and no matter how much you dominate a game, you have to put the opposition away. And Alec McLeish will feel that Hibs should have had this game done and dusted by now.
Oh, it's an awkward deflection, and what a bizarre goal! One of the strangest goals of the season. Brady was certainly in the thick of it, but it seemed to take a ricochet on its way past Colson.
Well, I suspect Alec McLeish might have felt this was coming. They haven't taken advantage of their domination of this game. A bizarre goal. It's just a long, long punt from Rob Douglas. Willie Faulkner does well to knock it on. A double deflection. And got Scarlett left without a hope. And Dundee back in this game when they least expected it.
I think Paul Lovering might have to get the own goal credited to him then, but I don't think I've ever seen an own goal as strange as that. Here's Boyer. Dundee have a new life about them now. Oh, it's coming through to McSkimming! And Dundee are in front! What a transformation! 2 goals in a minute! Amazing!
Well, we've seen it all now. Look at the Dundee fans celebrate. And they looked down and out just a few moments ago. Unbelievable to think they're now in front. Great play on the right by Stephen Boyack. Makes up his mind he's going to hit the byline here. Gets away from Lovering, gets across the front of him. A good pullback. And it breaks kindly at the back post there. And really, just when Dundee looked out of it, Sean McSkimming is left with the simplest of tasks to put them back, not only in the game, but in front for the first time in this match. And that is a real turn up for the books, given the pattern of this match. A good finish by Sean McSkimming. But Alec McLeish must wonder what's happening here.
Funny old game, football, isn't it?
Jockey Scott's not complaining anyway, and I'll tell you about that.
Here's Lehmann. Fabrice Henry! Oh, that was so close from the Frenchman.
Well, we're right up here in the gantry, straight behind that shot, and it's practically scraped the paint off the crossbar. Fine effort there by Henry. Just steadies himself, and he hits it ever so cleanly. Rob Douglas helpless. And it's just an inch or two too high. And that really would have been the perfect response from Hibs.
Brady now. And a long-range effort from Madison, but Jockey Scott, well, he's been there, seen it, done it in football, really. A legend as a player here. And all of a sudden, it's going his way, and it's not going Alex McLeish's way. An incredible turnaround in this game. I know what the Hibs fans who are watching this will be saying at the moment. We should have had a penalty before Dundee equalised. Here's Latipi though. Hibs ready to hit back now. Still he goes and trips, and it's going to be a free kick.
Well, Willie Miller indicated that he felt he had dived there. Good play by Latipi, committing defenders there. And only he knows whether he had to go down there or otherwise, but he certainly has won Dundee a free kick. Or won Hibs a free kick, I should say, in a very dangerous position once again here.
Boyack's getting a talking to, and Frank Sosie is already sizing it up. Well, he's had a few goes, has Sosie. Can he get it right this time and draw Hibs level? He can with the help of a deflection! May well have taken a deflection on the way, but you try taking it away from Sosie. A stunning strike. It's 2-2, and it's all happening at Dens Park.
Well, I don't think you would judge Hibs the good fortune here. Comes off Barry Smith on the way in. Whips it in there, loads of topspin on it, and Barry Smith needs just the slightest of deflections to turn it past Robert Douglas behind him. Douglas caught being across to his left, and the ball just deflected above him. And Alex McLeish would tell you that it's no more than his side deserves tonight, given their performance so far.
Well, this game really has burst into life, and considerable life at that. An own goal for Barry Smith, an own goal too for Paul Lovering at the other end. A bizarre OG, and we've had 3 goals in the space of just over 4 minutes. Skimming responsible for one of them. Here's Eddie Annan. And Dundee are going for another goal. Well, it's been breathtaking start the last few minutes. And who's to say which way it's going to swing now?
Yeah, I think I feel a bit of football left in this match yet. And I have to say I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Tweed finding James Grady, who's got time here. Boyack gets his cross in, and it's awkwardly off Dennis. Rennick's not going to get to that, and it'll be a throw-in to Dundee. Skimming has let Patalainen see too much of it. Henry, who also came close to scoring for Hibs with a real rasping drive. Sozy. Patalainen's flick on, here's Lehman. And Boyack was stopped in his tracks by the timely intervention of Lovering. Here's Henry. Latapi. Sozy. Oh, here's Grady, and it's 3 against 2, maybe 4 against 2 for Dundee here. Grady puts Falconer in. Falconer goes for the chip, and it's just going to drift behind.
Well, what a chance there for Willie Falconer. And Ed had to try and hit this on target, or play it across the goal, and eventually he does something in between here. I think he tries to chip Godskalskin, and it finishes well wide of the target, and a great chance there for Dundee. They had men over on either side.
Lehman's header, McSkimming's header, Sozy, Rennick. Sozy, Patalainen, Fabrice Henry, he's spotted the run of Latapi, and Latapi does well to find Henry. Pat McGinley looking for Patalainen, fast stick, it went too far. Now there were a couple of crazy own goals in the Premiership yesterday, but this is a good entry from Paul Lovering.
Yeah, I think it is Paul Lovering who gets the final touch. Willie Faulkner with the flick on, Lovering coming across trying to protect the centre-backs, and eventually he gets the last touch. And this was the one that put Dundee in front. Great play once again by Stephen Boyack. The pullback finds McSkimming unmarked at the back post. And Godskalskin left exposed. And then finally the deflection off Barry Smith here from Frank Sozy's free kick. And what a remarkable game of football.
A goal flurry at Dens Park. And we might not have finished yet on that front. Sozy. Rennick. Rennick looking for Patelainen. Well, plenty more action to come this week on Sky Sports in the Premiership. The first Monday night game is Tottenham against Newcastle from White Hart Lane, plus a look back at all the weekend action before that. On Tuesday, take your pick, Derby Arsenal in the Premiership, or West Ham on the European trail against the Frenchman of Metz in the Intertoto Cup. Here go Dundee again, with Eddie Anand. He's got Sean Dennis for company. Points are up for grabs here now. It really has been an eventful second half, to say the least. It came at Grady in a rather awkward way. Sosie. Tried to slip it through to Patelainen, but Stephen Tweed cuts off that route and gets the throw off to Patelainen as well. Stephen Tweed, he played for Stoke for a while down in England, but it didn't really work out too well for him there. 27 today. Boyack cut out the supply line to Latterby. Here's Lee Madison. Tweed. Lehman. Latterby. Patelainen. Tweed finding Grady into the middle, and Gavin Ray, and now Boyack. He's got Eddie Anand to his left, Grady to his right, Falconer through the middle. He's not using any of them. Deciding to go for glory himself.
Yeah, and you can't blame him because things opened up in front of him. He was just backing off here at the back. Decided to have a go and just get under the shot. But once again, it's Stephen Boyack who's showing he's prepared to take the initiative. And Dundee look far more dangerous when this young man's on the ball. And Hibs still ahead on attempts at goal, but Dundee coming into it very gradually and very definitely. It's been a far better second half showing from Jockey Scott's boys. He only wants them out. They're defending too deep as far as he's concerned.
Dennis up towards Lehman, away by Smith. Gavin Ray. McSkimming. Here's Boyack, a promising prospect, as he's showing again here. Oh, he's threaded it through as well. Willie Falconer! Smothered by the keeper.
Yeah, once again Boyack was involved. The ball through to Willie Falconer, just comes inside, threaded pass to Willie Falconer, and Sean Dennis does just enough to put him off the effort at the front post.
Hibs are going to bring on young Kenny Miller shortly, but here's Willie Miller for Dundee, and it's blocked out of play by Lovering. Now the substitution can be made. Mitsu Patelainen making way, and coming on is 19-year-old Kenny Miller, who's come up through the ranks at Hibs, scored a hat-trick pre-season against the Danish side Hornbeck. He was on loan at Stenhousemuir for a while last season. That one will bounce behind. A rare bit of breathing space in this second half. Kenny Miller hoping he can make an impact. passing on one or two instructions to Lehman. Tweed won that. Here's Boyer. Willie Miller trying to put Boyack in. Lovering with another fine interception.
Yeah, it's been a good contest that, because Stephen Boyack, for me, has been Dundee's best player. He's been trying to push Lovering onto the back foot, but Lovering has still managed to get forward for Hibs at every opportunity.
James Grady only had a return of 3 goals last season after 15 in the first division. Was that a handball? Penalty! Has he given a penalty here for the decision against Lovering?
Well, intentional or not, I think Hugh Dallas has no choice there. I don't know why the hand is raised as high as it is there. You can see the appeals from the Dundee players.
Eddie Annan is not hanging around. It's a perfect penalty. And this remarkable second half takes another twist as Dundee go 3-2 up.
Yes, a smashing penalty from Eddie Annan under a lot of pressure here, and just side foots it. Wrong foot's got scalp skin. Tucks it away in the corner of the net.
Last season's top scorer is off the mark, suspended for the Dundee derby last week. He's taken it out on Hibs. Well, at half-time, I don't think many people inside Dens Park or watching tonight would have predicted that at this stage Dundee would be 3-2 up.
That's been a super game. It's been a super second half, and it's not finished yet by a long way.
Barry Smith covering, although not particularly well. And here's Latterby, the free kick's been given. It's been pegged back, and it won't count from Latterby.
Yeah, I think the free kick was given against Kenny Miller for a shove there on Barry Smith. And he certainly injected a bit of pace into that Hibs front line, the youngster. You see the nudge on the back there as it broke to Latterby. Certainly a hand used there by Kenny Miller on Barry Smith. You see the left arm out here, and there's the shove.
Well, Dundee and Hibs are certainly serving up plenty of entertainment in this second half. Paul Hartley is waiting to come on for Hibs. An incident-packed second half.
I think Ali McLeish will be bitterly disappointed if he leaves Dens Park with nothing tonight. They played as well as I'm sure he could possibly have hoped, particularly in that first half, and just couldn't put Dundee away.
Smith. Sosie. Foul on Kenny Miller. Gives Hibs a chance to put a bit of pressure on here. But a stray one gives Dundee the chance to break. And then Gwen couldn't keep hold of it, and he's hurt himself as well. Meantime, here's Henry. Cross towards Miller on the far stick, and he's hobbling around now, but it's a corner.
Yeah, once again, Hibs managed to find the space in the wide position, and it's a good delivery here by Henry. Miller drifts off to the back post. And it's Madison who does enough to get the ball away for a corner, and Hibs are understandably in a hurry to take this.
Latterby with the fourth corner of the game for Hibs. It's over the head of Matthias Chat, knocked down by Lehman. Deflected by Douglas.
Yeah, decent knockdown, but nobody in the 6-yard box to make it count, and he did well to win that. A lot of bodies around him.
Well, the final 14 minutes promise to be rather frantic, to say the least. Sozi. Latapi. Frank Sozi. Ooh, he's almost found Miller. Rennick's cross, knocked behind for a corner by Willie Miller.
Yeah, he didn't know who was in his blind side, who was coming in at the back post there, so did the sensible thing, conceding the corner. It gives Dundee a chance to get reorganised here.
Well, the corner will be taken in a moment because, first of all, Fabrice Henry will be replaced by Paul Hartley, who also came off the bench against Motherwell last week. Former Rafe Rovers man. Also had a spell in England with Millwall. Latapi's corner. Oh, it's going to break here. And just on as a sub, Hartley almost made the most immediate impact. Latapi. He's done well to find Kenny Miller. Lehman's in a bit of space on the other side. Miller's stumbled. Here's Rennick. Hartley. Madison sticking with him. That's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, Madison just mistimed the challenge here, and the ball had gone by the time he made contact here with Paul Hartley. And once again, Hibs will send Sean Dennis up to the back post and hope that Russell Latapi can make the right delivery.
They jostle for position, waiting for Latapi's cross, and Douglas took command of the situation.
Yeah, that's good goalkeeping. A lot of traffic in front of him, made up his mind to come and take it early.
Lehman and Boyak's going to be in trouble here. Dallas coming across.
Well, he was perfectly positioned to see Hugh Dallas. He was only a few yards away. And I think he's saying that's the latest in a number of fouls that Stephen Boyak has committed. And here we see it. Lehman certainly won the race for the ball. And this is why he picked up the yellow card.
The free kick goes straight through to Robert Douglas from Lothering. Confirmation then of a yellow card for Stephen Boyak. Rennick. It squirmed through to Kenny Miller, but it gave Hartley too much to do. We're heading towards the last 10 minutes, and for Jockey Scott and everyone else here, it's going to be a tense 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think they'll sit in there, Ian. I think even Jockey would concede that Dundee are fortunate to be ahead, and they'll be determined to keep the 3 points here at Dens.
Here goes Boyak. Ray aiming to put Grady away. He's got a bit of a chase on to make it, but he will get there. Great delivery as well, which Rennick sent behind.
Well, the pace of James Grady there, prepared to chase all the lost causes. This looked as if it was going to run out of play, but he doesn't give it up, and that's a superb delivery, which Michael Rennick has to deal with. Great delivery from James Grady there.
Skimming's corner. How about that for a corner as well? Taken by Skaltson.
Yeah, it's a difficult one for a goalkeeper to take. It's the end swing and it's whipped in just under the crossbar. And he stilled it, but fortunately picked it at the second attempt. And Hibs really have to throw caution to the wind now.
Tweet. Brady. Here's Boyack, and he's away, and he's got Eddie Annan with him. Oh, fine challenge from Sean Dennis.
Yes, at full stretch there. Chance for Dundee to put the game beyond Hibs. A good ball there, Annan ready to pull the trigger, and Dennis makes a fine challenge. Full stretch, and the timing had to be perfect, otherwise that was a penalty.
Boyack then to send this in for Dundee. Quickly dispatched by the keeper to Lehman. Latterby. Given away by McGinley. Latterby. Sozy. Rennick. Hartley. Free kick does go in favour of Hartley and Hibs.
Yeah, Jockey Scott not happy about it, but that shows that it certainly was a free kick, and Hibs throwing players forward now.
Hartley taking on Madison, and it's a corner. A fantastic finish to what turned in, eventually, to a really enthralling contest. In the next few minutes, we'll seem like a few hours to Dundee. Oh, Sozy's going to go for one on the volley, another deflection, and another goal! Absolutely incredible! It's 3-3, and what a magnificent match to christen the new look Dens Park.
Well, that's a sore one for Jockey Scott. They've already lost the deflection. Sozy on his own here on the edge of the box, and he's ambitious enough to try the first-time volley. And once again, Robert Douglas cruelly foxed by the deflection. Sozy hits it reasonably well, and it could even have been Barry Smith. Once again it comes off. And once again Robert Douglas wrong-footed.
Well, definitely not his day. Two deflections, both from Frank Sozy drives. Well, he tried that from in that position in the first half, Frank Sozy, when he totally missed it, miscued it.
Yeah, he's looked to have a goal from the minute this game started.
It's Dundee, though, who are trying to go ahead again. McSkimming's cross, collected by the Icelandic international Ole Skottskarlsson. Hartley. Maybe we haven't finished yet on the goal front. Here's Latterby. Rennick. Here's Latterby. Sending off Sean McSkimming. Offside flag goes up.
Yeah, Dundee just held the line there. Latterby just tried to dink one in behind, and then there are the two Hibs players I think have strayed.
5 minutes left, probably enough time for about 6 more goals in this one. Sozy. Rennick. Hartley. Stephen Boyack. Over the top here for Willie Falconer. And Dennis just got something on it. Falconer hoping it'll run for the corner, and it does just that. You wouldn't be surprised if there's a winner in this
No,
game.
you wouldn't, Ian. This is when Ole Skottskarlsson really has to dominate his area, because I've no doubt this will be thrown right into that 6-yard box. And there are a lot of bodies going to pile in after it.
Boyack didn't get much height on it. Here's McSkimming though. He might well give it back to Boyack. Let's try and find Tweed instead. Here's Matthias Jack, who's impeded by Stephen Tweed, the birthday boy, but I bet his party won't be as good as his second half. Dundee are taking off Sean McSkimming and bringing on Hugh Robertson in his place. Another worthy contribution from McSkimming, but Robertson, who has been out on loan for the last couple of seasons, coming on the Jockey Scott side. Miller's clearance. Grady. Well, after a fairly tame first half, which Hibs largely controlled, the second half has been explosive. And Hibs will certainly point to the fact that they should have had a penalty when they were 1-0 up. If they remember it, there's been so much else happening as well. Here's Rennick. Hartley. Madison doing enough to ensure the throw-in went his way. And he's got the free kick. Madison. Away by Dennis. Here's Gavin Ray. Willie Miller. Can he be instrumental in setting something up against his former club? Boyack finds Ray. And here's Willie Falconer. Blocked by Matthias Jack. He might get a free. He doesn't get the free kick. Sosie. Rennick. We're in the last minute, which is a shame really, because it's been the sort of second half that you'd want to go on for a bit longer. Dundee have got the free kick. Is there going to be yet another twist to this tale in the closing seconds? Falconer. But it's Lehman who concedes the throw-in. Man of the match, Davey?
Oh, difficult one. Certainly Hibs were dominating in the first half, largely through Russell Latipi, who was involved in everything they were doing. And he was ably assisted by this man, Frank Sosia, as Hibs really had a stranglehold in that game in the first half. But for me, the man who's turned it for Dundee, definitely Stephen Boyack on the right-hand side, the man on the ball at the moment. His contribution, I think, has been a significant one. And for me, the reason that Dundee have managed to get back into the game, his willingness to take defenders on, get forward on the right-hand side. I think he's had a smashing night, and he's my Bank of Scotland man of the match.
Well, Rangers let him go, which is perhaps no great surprise, considering the amount of expensive talent they have on their books at Ibrox. But he's certainly enjoying a new lease of life with Dundee. Lovering. Oh, Kenny Miller putting Tweed under pressure. Lovering getting ready for a longish throw. towards Lehman. It's found a way through to Kenny Miller. Oh, simply sensational from the talented teenager Miller. And there is another twist in this tale. Hibernian 4-3 up and surely set for victory now.
Well, we should have known better. What a game of football this has been tonight. And the final twist in the tail comes from the young substitute who turns and hooks a magnificent shot into the net. Fabulous turn here and volley. And Rob Douglas left helpless once again. That's a wonderful goal from the youngster. And Alex McLeish must feel in some ways that justice has been done here.
Well, a fitting winner, if it proves to be the winner, and frankly, I ain't so sure yet, until that whistle goes. Latterby. Lehman. Sending it through for McGinley. And it's knocked out of play by Hugh Robertson. Well, when the football fans across Scotland go for a drink or two tonight, they'll certainly be talking about this game, which ends in a victory for Alex McLeish and Hibs. But there were so many twists and turns. Enthralling excitement, top-class entertainment in the second half. And it's Hibernian who celebrate their first victory back amongst the elite of Scottish football. Alex McLeish and Chucky Scott might both need a swift drink after what they've witnessed here. Frank Sosie with 2 blasts that were deflected in. And Chucky Scott, it's a second defeat of the season in 2 games. But what a game. Dirk Lehman put Hibernian in front with a fine finish in the first half. The second half was just incredible. A bizarre own goal from Paul Levering levelled it up. Sean McSkinning immediately put Dundee 2-1 up. Then enter Sosie, took a deflection of Barry Smith. That made it 2-2. A handball by Lovering led to Eddie Annan's penalty. Dundee were in front, but not for long. Surprise, surprise. Another deflection. Sosie on the volley. Sheer agony for Dundee. Sheer bliss for Alex McLeish and Hibernian, especially when in the closing seconds Kenny Miller, the substitute, snatched a really wonderful winner. I think we need to pause for breath after that. Full time at the new look Dens Park. Dundee 3, Hibernian 4.
A reminder of what's still to come tonight on Sky Sports. Over on Sky Sports 1 at 8:45. The first in a new series of goals on Sunday. On Sky Sports 2 at 8, it's live action from day 4 of the Buick Open Golf Tournament. And here on Sky Sports 3 at 9, cricket. Highlights from day 4 of the third test between England and New Zealand. That's all still to come tonight on Sky Sports. At Dens Park tonight, an amazing match. Hibs beating Dundee. Remember, they were 1 up at half-time. They eventually ran out 4-3 winners. Thrilling it was. Reaction to it all after this. At Dens Park tonight, a cracking match and a dramatic win for Hibs, running out 4-3 winners over Dundee. 7 goals then in all. 3 bookings tonight. Van Ice and Boyack, who was man of the match of Dundee, and Dirk Lehman of Hibs. They were all booked. Hibs absolutely dominated the first half tonight, but for all that, they still went in at half-time only 1 up. And Dundee gave a lot more in the second half. And at one stage, it looked like they were going to win it, 3-2. But Hibs eventually ran out the winners, as I say, 4-3. And Hibs winning goal hero Kenny Miller is with Martin Geisler.
Kenny, you lost a goal in the dying minutes last week. I know that was sore. You've done the opposite this time. Put into words how you feel, first of all.
I can't explain what it would have been to come off the bench and score the winner. And injury time it must have been was unbelievable. Brilliant.
It was an absolute dream for you. Here's the goal. You can have a look at it. Talk us through it.
For the throw-ins, it was just a long throw. The duck flicked on, we just seen it turn and hit. Just watched it slow in. Brilliant.
Just saw it come over and took a hoof at it.
That's it, just turn and hit, hook it on the shoulder, went in.
You're delighted, obviously. What goes through the head when you see it in the back of the net?
Oh, I was taking ages to get in there. It was like it was taking hours to go in, but once it was in, it was brilliant.
Hibs were dominant in the first half. It was some second half, though, wasn't it?
It was really open in the second half. It was end to end, so it could have been anybody's game. I mean, as soon as I came on, we lost it 3-2 down, so I thought once we scored the third, it was going to be a draw. Then that happened, so it was brilliant to finish off like that.
Given how you felt at the end of 90 minutes last Saturday, presumably you got a certain amount of sympathy for Dundee.
In relation to Dundee, I mean, you know, it feel happened to us. It's happened to us a lot, so it's just nice to be on the other end at this time.
Played some fairly creative football all through the game, Hibs, so you're going to be a sight to watch, aren't you?
Yeah, it's the same last week. We played really well. Never got the result. This week we got the result, so it's the main thing.
You imagine certain players in certain other clubs in the Scottish Premier League would sitting tonight worrying about taking you on?
Well, hopefully, I mean, we're going to try and make Easter Road as hard a place to come as Ibrox or Parkhead, so just need to try and play the home games out.
And this will get the heads up about going to the Edinburgh Derby next week, won't it?
That's right, we need a result to go into that. I mean, that's us above Hearts now, so it'll be a good game next week.
Congratulations, Kenny, well done. Thank you.
And there he goes. A fantastic performance. Great winning goal from young Miller there, Charlie. Yep. If ever there was a tale of two halves, this was it. Because remember, at half-time, Charlie, Hibs on goal attempts alone, 10-1 up after the first 45 minutes, and they could have lost this one 3-2, but went on to win it 4-3. And I'm out of breath.
Well, I'm not surprised in that. I think we're both out of breath because we couldn't believe what we were seeing unfold in front of us second half. You have to say, even at 1-0 up, we keep saying time and time again in this programme that it's never enough. You've got to finish teams off. Hibs totally dominated the first half. Here's what Lehman gives them. He gives them the angled crosses. He also works hard. He's got good movement. But Dundee tried to play the football, but Hibs, I thought, were classy throughout. Had to be a nice pass. Beautiful take from Lehman. The hardest thing in the game when a keeper stands up is for you to take the initiative. He clips it in off the post. I don't know if it's his strong side or not. We're still to see whether he's comfortable in both. But in this evidence, he looks comfortable in both. Second goal for him with his right foot this season. Classy finish. And Hibs' first half, Big Alec must have been absolutely delighted the way we're playing. Sure, the final ball could have been a little bit better at given times. But some of the space and the movement that they created, just by their ability and what they've been doing in the training pitch,
This fella can play, can't he?
I mean, look at this. Susie, again, you know, that relationship he has with Lackaby is quality. I thought Henri was impressive first half, starting their authority now. This is the one bit of danger they had, a snapshot from Eddie Annans, a beautiful effort. Keeper had no chance, he was rooted, he took it early, and suddenly Jack was on the back foot. But they got a little bit lucky then, but I think they deserved at that stage to stay in front.
Yeah, having been pounded, though, Dundee having been pounded, we're still in it.
Yeah, but it was a way in what they did it. I mean, you don't want to see James Grady in these positions back, having a challenge like that.
What about that? Was that a penalty?
It's a stonewall penalty. It's a clear penalty.
And not given.
And not giving, I'm surprised at that. And then,
comic cuts.
To get that, I mean, Paul Lovering, who I thought had a decent night up until that point. After that, he didn't really go to pieces, but the kid kept going. But it's a double knock-off effect onto Dennis, then off Lovering, and from that point, Boyack, who Davey pointed out, man of the match, it could have went between 2 or 3 tonight. I mean, he was impressive for Dundee, but it's shocking defence. I don't think Eck will be at all happy with this. They're queuing up at the back post, they left isolated the goalkeeper, and within that minute, you know, for being so dominant, they looked so vulnerable. And after what happened to them against Millwall, you would have thought they would have just been solid for 5 or 10 minutes, because they've got the class, they've got the know-how and the intelligence in their football play to open Dundee back up. To go 2-1 down as quickly as that was a major blow. Got a classy player and show from midfield. Susie, sheer deflection from Barry Smith. I don't think there's a lot he can do about it, because it's testing Robert Douglas anyway. He decided to go for the far post. Douglas is struggling, not a lot he can do, and suddenly we're at level.
And Lovering involved again. A controversial moment.
I really felt for him tonight. I'm sure Big Alec.
What was he doing there, though, Charlie?
Well, it's a bad error. I mean, it's you know, it's something you look at and you think, why? You're never going to win the ball. He thought he could, but he's just half a yard off it. But because of that, he leaves himself vulnerable. And again, Dundee, they get themselves back in front. You thought, where are they going to start scoring goals from? And then suddenly they're 3-2 in front. But credit to them, they tried this first half. It's obviously worked in training. Sosie hits a lovely ball, doesn't catch it clean. But I think they were due a little bit of luck. I don't think they could have walked home tonight and said that they didn't deserve anything from this game. I have to say, they get a deflection. Not a lot Madison or Douglas can do about it. But Kenny Miller, as an ex-striker myself, this is natural. This is instinctive. He knows where the goals are, Jim. What it is, it's about pivoting. He knows where the goals are and he knows how he wants to hit it. It's the technique is clean and it's sweet. And as you see him on the twist here, he just tries to steer it in there. And he beat a keeper like Robert Douglas as convincingly as that. Tells me that this kid has got it natural. And Big Eck must be absolutely delighted to come back. And great character again, as well as his team spirit.
Well, let's find out now, Charlie, if Alec McLeish is happy. I'm sure he is. He's with Martin.
Alec, Charlie Nicholas assumes you're happy. A great game for the viewers. Not much good for your nerves, though, I would imagine.
No, shocking for the nerves. Palpitations all round, but I think Man United eat your heart out with the late goals. Fantastic spirit from the lads. If a bit naive in the defending, I'll let Charlie sum that up.
Is that a fair analysis of your feelings of the performance? Defensively, slightly frail, but in terms of spirit, it was pleasing.
Well, it was just, I mean, I couldn't believe how naive we were when Dundee equalised. I mean, it was a lifeline, because up to then I didn't think they'd threatened us really. We looked pretty comfortable and controlled it. But, you know, we maybe had a decent penalty claim at 1-0. But Mr Dallas is a fit referee, he's out with play. You know, he'll be able to clarify that. And then, unbelievably, we go behind twice. But to fight back the way we did shows brilliant resilience for the players.
In terms of fight backs, Dundee weren't bad either. Did you expect that from them in the second half after you'd been so dominant in the first?
Well, as I say, the lifeline gave them a lift. I think that gave them a lift. The goal they got, a bit fortunate, but after that they showed why they battled last year, battled to 5th place. And you know, I thought the lads are learning a really tough lesson today. When we went 2-1 down and then 3-2 down, I thought, you know, this is a lesson and a half for them. Welcome to the Premier League. They've played well 2 games, but we look as if we're going to be pointless at the end of today's game. But to come back the way we did that, I mean, I've said it again and again, was magnificent.
At 3-3 with only a couple of minutes to go, is it fair to say it could have gone either way right to the end?
Well, yeah. But the important thing was, as opposed to the Motherwell game last week, when we sat and protected the game, we went for it at 3 each. We said, look, you've got to go for it. You know, and it's great to see the young under-21 coming off the bench and scoring the winner.
Aside from him, a number of other exciting players, Scottish Premier League fans will be looking forward to watching this season. So Zé Latape in particular stood out today.
Yeah, I thought Frank in particular was outstanding, you know, and he gave a great all-round performance on the ball and also battling as well. I know that the legs aren't what they used to be, but he's certainly a player and a half if you can get the runners round about him.
Only 2 games in, looking forward to the rest of the season?
Oh, not if it finishes like that, but I'll certainly take a goal more than the opposition anytime. Yeah, thanks.
You'll enjoy the journey home tonight, no doubt, Alex. Thanks for your time.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Thank you.
Alec McLeish, well, when it comes to a dramatic win, we'll have to go some to top that one this season, Charlie. The winning goal, what did you see? What did you spot about the winning goal?
Well, I think there's a lot of different things happening in the game, but when you're late on, and Alec makes the point about attacking play. Now watch this. He's chasing a lost cause, Kenny Miller. Now watch Stephen Tweed. He turns around and holds his hamstring. Watch him now. My hamstring is gone. Now when this long throw comes in, Tweed is normally the defender who goes and attacks us. He can't do that because his hamstring is gone. So what does he do? He has to go and pick up Kenny Miller. Now watch as this comes in. It's hanging up. It's tailor-made for a centre half to go and be aggressive. He has to take a back step. As Miller turns, Stephen Tweed can't get close. The hamstring has bothered him. He's indicated it. It's a classy finish and a wonderful finish from the youngster. But that hamstring problem cost Dundee 2 points tonight.
That is a sad one for Tweed, but a good spot by you, Charlie. Well, still to come tonight, the rest of the weekend's highlights and a look at the Dalglish Barnes Dream Team as it continues to shift along very nicely, thank you. To Hibs tonight at Dundee. Charlie, just to recap, a thrilling match, and this is what Sunday night football we hope from Scotland is going to be all about this season.
Well, after last weekend with a wonderful display of football from Celtic, Aberdeen we were disappointed in, but you know, it's compliments. Another 20 goals, same as last weekend. We can't ask for more than it. If it keeps going like this, perfect.
Well, what did Dundee have to say about it all? Let's hear now from Jockey Scott.
Jockey, I suspect you're as dispirited as Alex McLeish is delighted. Would that be fair?
Well, I think that's a fair assumption. To score 3 goals at home in one half of the game and no have played in the first half, then and you lose the game, then obviously very disappointed.
There was some transformation at half-time. What can we put that down to? What do you say to them?
It's not what I say, it's what the boys do. I mean, they you know, they've got their pride. They didn't work hard enough in the first half. They tended to sit back and just pass the ball in nice wee patterns rather than trying to get forward with their passes. Allowed Hibs to dictate things and then found ourselves a goal down. So the second half we had to do something about it, and bringing James Grady on obviously made a wee difference. But no, as I say, very disappointed.
When you sit down tomorrow and analyse the performance rather than the result, what positive aspects will you take from the game?
Well, the scoring of the 3 goals, obviously. And that's about it.
Really? Nothing more in terms of the performance itself, in terms of the spirit?
No, I mean, the second half, the attitude was better to play and the commitment was better. At the end of the day, we get beat, so it wasn't good enough.
Did you feel that it could have gone your way right up until the end?
Well, I felt that, you know, we've came back and we've went ahead twice. And when you do that, then you shouldn't allow the other team into the game. Again, I felt we sat too deep again, the same as we did last week against the United. And again, paid the penalty. I mean, we lost 2 goals in the last 6 minutes or something.
Small consolation perhaps, but the man of the match is in your dressing room, Stephen Boyack. Perhaps you could pass on the champagne. It'll be slightly flat tonight, I suspect, though.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jockey.
Cheers.
Poor old Jockey. Side played well, but they lost 4-3 right at the death. An amazing game, really, and a good win tonight for Hibs, though.